Welcome back, everybody. This lighting isn't great, and I'm sorry, but you guys will probably never really get to see my green hair unless you go on Instagram, but, there aren't a whole lot of good pictures of it just because I haven't been in a picture mood since I got it done, so I guess we'll just have to keep it green longer, and it's gonna give me more anxiety. Well, I haven't tried, this lipstick on since I dyed it, so I was like, maybe we should try that out. So this camera is really bad for me to be able to see things in it, especially when I'm trying to put lipstick on and talk at the same time, so. I just messed up, didn't I? Well, that's just food. I just made perfume and now I extremely smell like it and it's weird. I don't know, just watching my lips move in slow motion is like kind of satisfying. So, excuse that random moments. My candle is still burning over here. Can it smell it? I can't smell it yet. So this is actually the beginning of a video that I already filmed the end of. Wow. So I thought I would do like a mini series of like 3 episodes since we're doing public speaking, and since I'm taking a public speaking class, I might as well teach you guys how to do some public speaking and show you what I'm doing in my class, because I have no other ideas except for like be more depressed, but you know, I mean depressing. I'm really exaggerating this a lot more than it is. I'm really fine, guys. I just feel like talking about it. So I'm not kidding, like I am sad, but I'm not actually like really depressed or anything. It's okay. Yeah. So, first thing you gotta do after you choose your topic for your speech, and if someone wants to read the notes like that I took for all of this, but I really don't think anyone's gonna want me to do that because that just would be so much schooling stuff. So yeah, where's this first thing? Okay, so you choose your topic and then you do an audience analysis, which is you make a little quiz and you give it to your audience to see what they think about your topic, if they know anything about it, and if they do stuff about it, what don't they know about it, so you can tailor your speech to your audience. I don't actually talk like this, I'm just starting to for no apparent reason, because my voice does that sometimes. And I guess I'm just trying to sound like somebody, and I'm trying to think of who their name is. Echo, maybe, but, I don't know. My voice is weird. Any case, why is there cardboard on my foot? Yes, so the first page of it that I have right here, page C, mine was the only one that went on the back because I have excessive questions because I'm an overachiever, which ties into our topic, which is obsession. So, I'm going to read you the questions and then I wrote down a summary of what people said, but I'm going to go and read people's like answers that they had to write out individually once I read this. So my first question was, many times people say things like, OMG, I'm so obsessed with One Direction, or I love pumpkin spice lattes. I'm so obsessed. What do you think it really means to be obsessed with something? So then I wrote down, I think, just what people said. Basically, it disrupts your life if you can't have it. It takes over your everyday life, something you can't live without. Can't stop thinking about it. Strongly like, follow everywhere, care about it a lot, makes you happy. Do you think that anxiety disorders such as obsessive-compulsive disorder or eating disorders such as eating disorders not otherwise specified or EDNOS could result from obsession? There were 3 yeses and 4 maybes. So nobody didn't think about that. So on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being pretty difficult and 5 being, oh wow, what is this and how did I get it on my finger? I am great today. How easy do you think it is to become truly obsessed with something? There was 1, as in 1 being difficult, 2 2s, 3 3s, and 1 5. Do you think being obsessive is circle one of these answers. A trait one can be born with, there is 1 circle. A trait that can happen randomly in people, 2 circles. Or a trait one gains from their environment and upbringing, 6 circles. Because somebody circled all 3 of them, and I was like, okay, stop being so aggressive, Candle. It's just like, yeah. I think this question is kind of like strange since I didn't even end up answering it, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself for not answering it, but like I don't have enough time to talk about the stuff I did. So. Do you think that there's anything you are obsessed with? If yes, and you feel comfortable sharing it, how do you know? 2 people said yes, 5 people said no. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being no effect, 1 being no effect and 5 being an extreme effect, how much of an effect do you think obsession can have on one's physical brain? There were 3 5s and 4 4s. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being no effect and 5 being an extreme effect, how much of an effect do you think obsession can have on one's mental state? 4 4s and 3 5s. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being no effect and 5 being an extreme effect, how much of an effect do you think obsession can have on one's social life? 1 3, 3 4s, and 3 5s. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being no effect and 5 being an extreme effect, how much of an effect do you think obsession can have in one's romantic relationships? 2 3s, 1 4, and 3 5s. So, yeah. Basically, I wrote this down in a summary that I later deleted, so I'm gonna go and, yeah. So, I'm gonna go back and read the specific answers to the question 1 and question 5. I'll repeat them in the first, and then you can just remember that 1 is before 5, and those are the questions. So, what do you think it really means to be obsessed with something? You care about it a lot, and it makes you happy. And then, do you think there's anything you're obsessed with? If yes, and you feel comfortable sharing, what? And how do you know? I'm obsessed with Netflix. I know this because I binge watch it, and I love to do it. What do you think it means to be obsessed? You strongly like something or someone, you follow their every move. No, I'm not really obsessed with anything. Being obsessed with something means that you are always thinking about it or reading about it. Yes, there is, and there are probably some things I'm obsessed with that I'm not aware of. I don't think I should share too much to share. No point in sharing. I know because I know myself. That's the only person who I think answered like super honestly, because I don't know, it just seems like a good answer. And the person who answered Netflix, I don't think quite understands what obsession means, or at least not in this context, according to my research. So, when you can't ever stop thinking about something, and not that I know of. Like something one cannot live without. And they didn't answer the second question. To have it take over your everyday life? No. I think obsession means it disrupts your life if you can't have it. No, I don't have any obsessions. So that was my analysis, and it affected my research a little bit, but not as much as stuff that I found while I was researching. So, yeah. And I already read my credibility and stuff, but you'll see those later. But here's my checklist. So we have 10 points for audience analysis, 10 points for a credibility statement, 10 points and paragraph, 10 points for a bulleted outline, 10 points for our bibliography that's annotated, 20 points for our outline conference where he looks over our outline and says, this is good, this is bad, here's what you need help with. 10 points for a practice video, which we haven't actually done yet, but I will be posting that. That will be the 3rd video in this series. And 20 points for feedback of your video, like feedback of the other person whose video that you feedbacked. And then 10 points for your self-reflection, which adds up to a total of 100 points, because this is like an exam grade. So let's really hope I don't fail. So I guess now we'll be showing some clips that I filmed a few days ago when I wasn't sure if I would actually use them in a video. I was just filming them because I needed to film myself practicing. So we'll skip to me doing my outline, reading it, and then we'll skip to me doing my, we'll skip to me reading my outline, because we have my analysis, we have my outline, and, yeah. And then the second episode video will be me reading what I actually wrote for my speech, because I wrote it all out even though we weren't supposed to, because I thought it would help me, and it kind of did, but it also kind of didn't. And then the me practicing saying it from reading my outline, and then, excuse my nose, the third video will hopefully be me in my practice video, and then in my final speech, if they're filming that, I kind of hope they film that, just so I can see how much I was bad at it or was good at it, depending on. I have this like yellow stuff stuck to my finger, and I don't know what it is, and I swear it didn't come from my nose because it was there before, and I feel like it's paint, but this paint is not wet, so I don't know. So I think the rest of this video I already have the footage for, so I'm going to stop filming right now. It's going to be great. Let me just quick change the brightness on this because it is losing batteries like way too fast and I don't like it. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my outline, which has my analysis statement and my credibility statement and then my whole outline, and I'm going to read all of that to you word for word from what I have written down here again, so you can see what it already is doing and saying. My analysis statement. This is based off of the quiz thingy that I gave to people, which I should probably show you at a different point in this video, so I will do that later. But I basically put a survey out and let everyone in my class, which is 8 people, including me, fill it out. And then I used their feedback to create this paragraph and form what I wrote. People don't seem to know a whole lot on this topic, obsession, but their answers were mostly in agreement. The majority of people, when asked what obsession is, mentioned things more related to the anxiety-induced obsessions, but there were a few who said things that seemed closer to the love-induced obsessions. I will be attempting to explain more about love-induced obsession, as I think that it isn't talked about much, or when it is, it's usually in the context of violent men. Generally, the audience doesn't think it's hard to become obsessed with things and that it is possible for obsession to grow into a mental disorder. Most people said that obsession is something you get from your environment and upbringing, and were sure that they were not obsessed with anything. Then we have my credibility statement, which is the thing that you tell the audience so that they feel comfortable and confident that you know what you're talking about when you're talking. I think I'm credible to speak about obsession because I've experienced many types of obsessions. I've been obsessed with getting good grades, following rules, with my body, and with people. As someone who likes to learn about what happens to them, I've been researching eating disorders and anxiety, the disorders in which my obsessions seem to manifest, since 7th grade, which would be about 4 years. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert, and if you are curious about anything or think that what I said was incorrect, please mention it or do your own research. So that last sentence, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be in that paragraph or not, but my teacher looked at it, said it was fine, so I'm going to turn it in like this, and if I get a point docked off for not being, like, completely confident and being like, yes, everything I say is exactly true, then I'm going to be okay with that because I don't want to lie to my audience and tell them that, like, I did something I didn't do. By the way, here, you can see my hair a bit better right now. It's kind of dirty, though, so sorry. Yeah. Okay, so now let's read the actual outline. So my first thing is my introduction, and then in my introduction I have a Jeremy Irvine quote, the definition of obsession. I am credible to speak about obsession because I have been researching things like eating disorders and anxiety disorders, which involve being or having an obsession for 4.5 years. That's what the about was at the paragraph before. I feel that this topic is relevant to the audience because adults and girls often find themselves enamored with a popular band or person or very focused on grades and appearance. These could all be considered obsessions if taken to the extreme, and then have some examples of real life situations. Then we have my theme, which is affected by obsessions, and then it changes physical health, mental health, and social life. Then my transition is, the first point we're going to look at is, because, you know, we, the audience, we're together, we're all looking at this together, we want to feel included and stuff. I'm not teaching you how to be a public speaker, what? By the way, this is an informative speech, so I'm very much not trying to change anyone's opinion on anything, at least the parts that I'm reading out from here. Maybe what I'm saying to you right now in non-scripted is informative. I don't know what that was right there. I was trying to be cool and do something with my finger, and I accidentally put it in my mouth. I'm sorry, I may just edit that out because it was weird. Anyhow, so we have paragraph number 2, my body paragraph, the first one, and it's how obsession affects one's physical body. And then general health being anxiety, and it says a love disorder. And then B, Point B being abrasions, and then we have a transition for my next point. How obsession affects one's mental state. We have mental disorders and thought patterns, and then we have 3 examples, which are the screwdriver thought loop, the stove thought loop, and the OLD thought loop. The screwdriver thought loop is there to illustrate how exactly like the process of getting an obsessive thought happens, and how it like the process, and then the stove thought loop is sort of to allow you to feel what it's like when you have an obsessive thought loop happening. And then the OLD thought loop again is what it's like when you have a thought loop obsessively about a person instead of an object or a thing that you need to do. Then we have our 4th paragraph, which is the last body paragraph, and the transition for that is our final point. How obsession affects one's social life. And then we have A, levels of human interaction, which are they stay inside, they're much less social, they lose friends and family a lot of the time. And then B, change in relationships and intimacy, so they have like the obsessive love, and then we have the definition about obsessive love and some facts about it. And then to conclude, we have our conclusion paragraph, which has affected by obsessions, the theme, changes in physical health, mental health, and social life. And then we have our closing statement, which is a John Waters quote, and how that there are treatments available. Now, in my actual speech, the John Waters quote is at the beginning of the paragraph, but I'm not going to change it because I think it's comprehensive enough for whoever's going to listen to my speech to understand that, especially if I, don't do that. So the next thing I have to do is, while looking at this outline, try and say that speech that I just said, because apparently you weren't supposed to write it all out. You were only supposed to use the note cards, your visual aid, and this outline when you're on stage, so you're just supposed to be like, blah, 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 and ad-lib most of it. So, not ad-lib, but like, you're not supposed to have it written down and memorized either. I'm just really trying to show you the green, and all you're seeing is like the leftover brown and blue. That bit right there was kind of green. Kinda. Ugh. My hair is just great. There, we've got some green. There you go. Sorry, this lighting isn't great. This is a thing I'm doing for school. This is like actually my assignment. Anyway.